Ukraine's president is running against Vladimir Putin. The front-runners in Ukraine's presidential election are a chocolate magnate, an energy tycoon turned populist, and a television comedian. That may sound like Ukraine has been locked in a proxy war with Russia since 2014, when Russian troops annexed the Black Sea Peninsula of Crimea, and Moscow fueled a separatist conflict in eastern Ukraine's Donbas region. To that, as of, the incumbent, President Petro Poroshenko, is campaigning on his ability to play tough with Russia. In a This Week on Twin. Sunday's vote, however, may bring no clear outcome. If there is not an Poroshenko faces an uphill battle to make it to that second round. Earlier this week, just under a year ago, the president's support among likely voters was in the single digits. Since then, Poroshenko, a tycoon best known for his ownership of chocolate manufacturer Roshen, may have the advantages of incumbency. But he's competing. Zelensky is a comedian and the star of Servant. And in a made-for-TV twist, the plot of the series foreshadowed his quixotic political bid. Zelensky plays a down-and-out schoolteacher who unexpectedly becomes president of Ukraine after becoming famous for an anti-corruption rant that goes viral on social media. Servant. But political observers also say Zelensky is something of a blank slate, a complete newcomer to politics whose mastery of policy details is still rather scant. Poroshenko, by contrast, has campaigned on a patriotic and national security platform, running on a slogan of Armia, Mova, Vera meaning army. Poroshenko in recent months has stepped up. After Russia seized, Ukraine's incumbent president has also played on Ukraine's bid for greater spiritual independence from Russia, welcoming a decision last October by Bartholomew I of Constantinople, the spiritual and symbolic leader of the Eastern Orthodox Church, to recognize an independent Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Most polls show that Poroshenko appears to be in a dead heat for second place against former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko. The latest showed both Tymoshenko and Poroshenko running neck and neck, each with support from 17% of likely voters. Twice a former prime minister, is a formidable opponent. The former head of it, she left office in 2010 and was later jailed over a natural gas agreement that she signed with Russia, a sentence widely seen as political. The only thing certain in Ukrainian politics is uncertainty. In contrast to democracy.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,